everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this one we are testing the GeForce RTX 3060 Ti in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and we are using the Zotac twin edge OC model of the card. And here are all the specs of the GPU. We have 8 GB of GDDR6 from Hynix. This is the GDDR6X variant of the card, not the GDDR6X. We have the latest NVIDIA driver 566.36, which is the game ready driver for Indiana Jones. And we have resizable bar enabled inside BIOS. Over here in Task Manager, we have the Intel Core i7-13700K CPU. For memory, we have 64 GB of DDR5 6000 MHz CL36. Finally, for MSI Afterburner, no overclocks are applied. And I am only gonna manually change the fan settings to like 87 or something around those lines, because the fans on this GPU are really bad, the Zotac twin edge fans. So let's get inside the game and check out the frame rates, guys. So here we are inside the menu, guys. We're gonna start it off at 1080p resolution. We're also gonna test 1440p. We can't test 4K because this game won't run on this GPU at 4K resolution because of the 8 gigs VRAM. And we have motion blur, chromatic aberration, film grain, all that stuff turned off. And we are using the low texture because that's all we can use on an 8GB GPU. And other settings are pretty much maxed out. And yeah, the shadow also has to be set to medium. And the rest of the settings are pretty much maxed out for now. We will also try the other presets. And for upscaling, we are using DLAA. We aren't really using any upscaling. It's just the anti-aliasing being applied from DLSS. And all of these settings are pretty useless. So I'm in the very starting jungle area, as this is so far the most demanding area we have been to. Like, I haven't even played this game because I'm just not getting enough time right now in my life. Like, so much is going on. So I'm just not even getting time to play games these days. But as you can see, guys, the VRAM is absolutely maxed out at this point. So if you increase it to like medium from low, the game is gonna crash. It's gonna freeze and give you VRAM error. And look at the CPU usage. It doesn't eat that much of a CPU, this game. It's not that CPU heavy. It is CPU heavy a little bit in the town and city area, obviously, as more things are going on in there. And right now, as you can see, we're getting around 80 FPS, which is pretty good. Basically, you can max out this game at 1080p, except the textures and shadows, which has to be set to medium, and the texture to low. And if you go out of the jungle, in the city area, you will get slightly higher FPS, like probably close to 100 we are gonna get. And as you can see, the shadows, they look pretty noisy, and the problem with this game are mainly the shadows. There is so much flickering, as you can see, and pop in, shadow pop in, and the LOD in this game is horrible, especially on the trees and leaves and all that stuff. And to fix this shadow pop in and flickering issue, you only need to use path tracing. Not complete path tracing, only the ray trace sun shadows. You need to turn it on. So next, guys, I'm gonna try this with high graphics quality preset, and only I'm gonna drop the texture pool size to low, otherwise it's gonna crash. And rest of the settings, as you can see, motion blur, we have turned it off, so even if it's set to high, it's just not gonna work. And as you can see, the rest of the settings here, DLA is being used, and we are getting the same FPS as we were before, pretty much with these settings. Just a little bit less VRAM is being used this time, but the FPS is almost the same. No difference at all. So nothing changed. So you are free to max out this game, except the textures and the shadow quality. So up next, guys, I'm gonna do the same settings, which is low texture and shadow quality set to medium. And I am only gonna change this to quality DLSS, which means it's gonna render at 720p and upscale it back to like 1080p. So as you can see, now we are getting above 100 FPS, and everything looks pretty good though in DLSS in this game. Like, maybe a bit blurry when I start moving, and slightly noisy, and it also has some ghosting, the DLSS in this game, but it doesn't look that terrible, honestly. Yeah, those branches have a lot of ghosting in them when I move, like left and right or back and forth. DLSS is not the greatest in this game. I mean, implementation of it, but it still looks decent, I would say. So you can play this way if you want very high FPS. But I think anything like around 70 FPS is fine with a game like this. Well, guys, we forgot that this game doesn't let you turn on the path tracing options or any other ray tracing options on any GPU which has less than 12 GB of VRAM. So you need at least a 12 gig card to be able to run path tracing on this GPU. I mean, on this game. I wonder if the RTX 3060 has the option. So if you have a RTX 3060, the 12 GB one, do let me know if it lets you turn on path tracing. And that's pretty weird, right? Because the 3060 Ti or any 8 GB GPU, the 3070 or Ti, won't be able to enable path tracing or be able to run that, but the 3060 would be able to. Funny, right? Do let me know, I want to know. So now we are gonna switch to 1440p resolution, guys, and we have motion blur, chromatic aberration, film grain turned off, and we are using the same settings, which is basically everything maxed out except the texture pool size, which is set to low, shadow quality to medium, and another setting that is hair quality, which is set to medium as well. And we are using DLAA right now, even though Digital Foundry recommends you use hair quality set to low for 1440p, but for me it works fine, as you can see, even with medium hair quality, as we can achieve 60 FPS in this area. And sometimes it does drop to like mid 50s here and there, like for very brief period in just a few areas. And I wonder if we will encounter any other area in this game which will be more intense than this. There might be, I don't know. Let me know if there is, because I haven't got time to play this game absolutely at all. Not at all. Like, look at the VRAM usage now. It's still like hovering close to like 8 gigs. And I'm really disappointed by the rumors we are seeing from NVIDIA for the NVIDIA 50 series GPU. The 5060 is gonna have a 8 GB variant, and the 5070 a 12 GB. Like the 5060 should be a 12 GB card. It should start with 12 GB. I can still with the for the 5050, if it's even a thing, I am fine with that being 8 gigs, but the 5060 should be a 12 gig card at this point. Like, this is just the beginning, guys. And 8 GB GPUs are gonna be obsolete very soon because of these kinds of games which are gonna come out. Like, this is just the starting. Now we still have the option to use quality DLSS on top of the maximum settings. Not maximum completely though, but whatever. For this GPU it is maximum pretty much. And we can still get good FPS, as you can see, even with even at 1440p. And we are getting like more FPS than at 1080p native at max settings basically right now. So I recommend you play this game at 1440p. If you have a 1080p panel, you should use NVIDIA DSR or DLDSR and make it 1440p and play it, because it's gonna look far better. Everything looks more crispier, clear, and the image, I mean, at 1440p, even with quality DLSS, which is rendering the game at 960p and upscaling it to 1440p. You can see all the stats on the right side top there. And we are getting 83, around 80 average, so to speak. And we will obviously get more FPS in the town area as well. So that will be it for this video, guys. Do leave a like if you enjoyed and if this video helped you. And as always, subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you on the next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.